Hello, welcome home to Eden. I'm here today to debunk an ancient tradition of minimizing one's power, passion, and beauty in order to make other people comfortable, especially other women. If you're a hot, amazing, powerful, and successfully abundant, rich, and free woman, how are the other women going to deal with you? If you're attractive, all you do is dress a little dumpy around them. Tell them what a rough, miserable month it's been, how you've been starving, and on and on. These are the habits I'm trying to break. Because I am really doing pretty fantastic, and I noticed that I don't want people to know. And on one level, it's kind of good because you don't want to be boasting, but why not? Like, men are supposed to boast, right? It's considered confidence. And truthfully, when somebody boasts, you know how it is. Everybody starts to feel proud and happy and excited for them. Oh dear. So here's my challenge to you, sweetheart. Can you just let people know when it's going really great? Like that incredible lover experience you had the other night. The way that you're feeling in your body, how high you feel. The way your business is rocking and you actually do have enough money and you don't have to okay, so specifics. I'm at Unifier Festival and I found myself lying and saying I wasn't selling very much because I wanted to go around and trade things with people instead of just selling, which was so impersonal. So I would say, oh, no, I'm not selling much today. I'm just, walking around doing exchanges, because life is a little rough and it makes life, more possible to do exchange. Bunch of freaking bullshit. What if I had said, oh, I'm selling fantastically. I'm actually almost all sold out. So I took my last handful around because I want to have some fun, because I want to keep more money, cash in my pocket by doing exchanges. That's the truth. I want to keep more of my own cash and get more goodies, more beautiful clothes. Now, is that greedy? Is that just, well, maybe somebody would think it is. And maybe it is. But what if it's just what you want? You just want to be able to maximize what you're doing, and that's part of your success is because you keep figuring out ways to maximize and magnify each thing you do to the next level by not squandering the energy, by having it build socially and build and being thrifty with your money. Uh, so would the women doing the exchanges have been, no, I just want cash? If I told them I'm selling great and they said, I just want cash, I don't want to do an exchange, would they have? They might have. On the other hand, maybe it would have just been the exact same, like the earrings I had were gorgeous. I created ones like these, only the spiral was bigger and there's big feathers coming off them. And some of them were like full of like wild crystals and things so that they looked like wild woman bones. And I created these wild earrings for this woman who did not want to exchange with me in the end. And I was so like, disappointed because I loved her stuff, but she was somebody I wasn't being really totally forthright with at all. I wasn't, and of course I didn't deserve her beautiful work. Then there's the level of how dare you charge what you do for your work, for your beautiful business work, whatever it is. Because like there was another woman there doing jewelry far beyond my level. So incredible. This woman's jewelry. She'd done it with leather and little teeny things that she'd woven to keep the jewels inside the leather. It was the most high art jewelry I've seen in my lifetime. And she was only selling her pieces for like $200, and each one should have been 1,000 minimum, and then her biggest piece for 1,000. God, it could have been 15,000. I mean, it was really like museum work. And here I am walking around selling, saying that some of my jewelry will go for, $200 in the stores just to be like them. Well, no, I don't want to sell my stuff like that. I don't. I like to sell my stuff for 40 to 65, and let the store sell it for 70 or 80, because I want to keep it. I want to keep it in the hands of the people, right? But how do we get more courageous about wanting more and being in balance with not taking too much, offering and giving? But the main thing is the gift in sharing how abundant you feel and how you honor your work. Like, hey, somebody wants it for $10 and you're like, no, it's got to be an exchange for 65. That means you got to give me 10 of your things for one of mine. I did this exchange. I was working on it with this family, and it's tricky because how many hours had they spent making their sweatshirts? Well, I think actually less time than they had the supply cost of a sweatshirt, right? And they had done this incredible thing where they sprayed it with like day glow fractals. So when the black light hits it, it makes you look like you're like you're a god on stage. And I really wanted to get it for a friend of mine who's a musician on stage. I wanted to see him in a hat like that and everything. And so, but I could assess the time it takes to spray something with a spray gun. The supply costs are the same as my earrings. The time it takes for me to make earrings is the same as that. So I was like, I wanted to exchange equal for time and value. But this couple, they got in this huge fight because he didn't value the earrings in the same way the woman did, and the earrings were for her. And the masculine doesn't understand, especially in couples, what it means to support women in their beauty and what different craft levels are about. They'll just think their thing is more important and more valuable than the woman's, no matter what. But I feel so bad because I was being really brazen. I went right up there and I was like, look, I'm going to give you two pairs of my greatest earrings that'll look amazing on you, and I want to get these gifts for my friend, and I want it to be free, that, for me to have the freedom to choose whatever I want from your booth. And at first they were totally into it, but then somehow they started fighting the way couples do, about who said what and what's more important and whose values matter more. And oh my God, next thing I knew, the grandma was coming over saying, you're destroying their marriage, and I was in the middle of getting an astrological reading, and I was like, you guys are bothering my reading. You should walk away right now. You're interrupting the star god talking to me. And then they're like, oh my God, she's so rude. She comes over here to trade her earrings, and now she chases us away from her. And I have to say, I was out of balance. I don't think I handled that very well. I think I triggered everybody in the whole family with my brazen attitude. But here I am on a video telling you to do what I do, to go ahead and be like really like out there with what you want and what you want to trade for and what you feel you deserve. And sometimes people are going to hate you for it. And sometimes you're going to ask for too much and they're going to really resent you and feel like you're a shyster trying to get stuff. And the thing is, I guess I have to say, over a whole weekend, maybe like 20 transactions of some things were being sold for cash and some were exchanges and some were partial exchange and partial cash. I think I did really great on, I guess, 18 of those interactions, and probably just terrible on 2, So, I wove into one of my earrings that I made for this young woman a mistake into the earring on purpose, because there's a saying in the Dagara African tribes about how if you weave in a mistake, not just them, but other indigenous tribes we'll talk about, if you even purposefully put a mistake in the weaving, that is the place where spirit comes in. That's the entrance for spirit to come add the magic. And I knew the woman I was creating the earrings for was very much a perfectionist. And so I had to make the mistake little enough that she wouldn't necessarily see it for a long time. But that thing about welcoming the reality of our mistakes and not letting the fact that we're going to make terrible mistakes stop us from being outrageous. Like, I was pretty outrageous with just, I came away from the festival with no cash in my pocket after probably $600 worth of transactions, because I paid all my costs and my, fees for the festival and my, to my girlfriend who had gotten a booth. And then I got myself these clothes through all these exchanges so that I could feel the gift and the magic in the clothes that I wear. And these kind of jewelry that is like, when you're wearing magic, honey, when you say yes to the things you really long for, it creates, look at this cute little romper thing I'm wearing. It's like, look, it got everything. It's a whole romper. That's like, life gets so joyful when you're wearing a skin. Like, think of the little lizards and the chameleons that get to change color with every branch that they're on, the pelt of the beautiful fox, of the tiger. When you're wearing skin, your clothing is like skin that you feel like, it's so nice to be in this pelt. That's really fun. And guys, not only do you need to celebrate your women for this, but I want you to have more fun. Just get some women's shirts, okay? We were at the festival. We saw all these guys looking so hot and so wonderful. And it was because they're at their festival. They don't have to feel worried about going to work, whatever, and being in the world. They were with their antlers on. They were with their pelts. They were with their dandy hats and umbrellas and their suspenders and their, soft pants and their sensual shirts. If you get women's shirts, there's a lot of women's shirts, those big button-down shirts that are very colorful and silky. You guys look so good in those, having more fun. And then the guys were like letting their hair go free, and you could just see that they felt so good. They felt so good being able to just be more expressive, be more, it was like sexy for all of us to have the guys freed up and the women. Oh my God. The women knocked it out of the park. The women were like these wild goddesses at Unifier Festival. They were like in these, hand woven. Everything was so specific. The women at Unifier, it's like every single thing was like handmade with shells and beads and animal, fur and beautiful, feathers and showing their bodies and just every woman looked like an archetype of her soul self, like of her essence self, because she was safe in the Unifier environment out in the forest where everybody's dancing and all day. But what's interesting is that even so, I did feel that the whole festival was really mainly the divine masculine imprint, because there was many things that they didn't really get about what feminine energy needs to really thrive. And one of the main things is there was no way for people to open up and socialize. There was nothing facilitated. You had to have a clique, or you had to barge in on one. And I think in a feminine paradigm, we would weave into every single performance people meeting each other. That would be one. And also the kids had no tent. They were supposed to just be out in the blazing sun in the middle of everything with no little hut of their own. No place to be cared for and cuddle up and relax and nap. And that's so masculine to overlook something so big like that. Like, there was a lot of things. The vendors were called vendors instead of artists, which somebody was saying we should be called artists. I love that. And there was like a tent for the musicians to get nourishment and water and tea, but not for any of the artist vendors who were out there in the hot sun all day long. So we retreated to this beautiful woman's tent who was selling tea, and she, thank God for her and her daughter carried the divine feminine for the entire festival because they made that spot, But the fact that we were, sorry, as artists paying so much, almost everyone I spoke to only made enough to cover having been there. They didn't actually make money from their art. hardly at all after the cost for being there. And I thought, I wonder what we could do, to say the artisans are making this festival happen. How do we respect them on a different level? Maybe through a percentage. I don't know. But I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to create like a, a goddess festival? You want to do that with me? Anybody? I want to do it. I need some help. Let's just do it. Let's design it together and talk to them over there at that wonderful new place where Unifier and Dance New England are now located, because they're wonderful people and they're totally open to suggestion, and they're working their asses off to create what they did, which was awesome. Go to Unifier next year, okay? And I love you. Okay, just be brazen. Be brazen about what you want with yourself, with your life. Okay, you deserve it.